This is Black Light, the black man's degree, your mental capacity. What level do you think you are on right now as far as mentality? What degree? Most people are influenced by the so-called leaders who are ever hot right now. Whoever the majority of the community embraces, uh, who got the minds of the youth. Who's the latest rock star, in other words? Who's hot and who's not? They don't embrace the ancestors. They look at the mistakes that the ancestors made. And our influence by these modern day gurus, self-claimed scholars, even in the Nation of Islam. But let me make this clear. The reason why the nation is was number one, and still probably is number one on J. Edgar Hoover's list, was the Nation of Islam, because they were disciplined, they were militant, they were very well organized, which most of you are not. And they were preparing themselves to be a financial threat. But my main focus is, who do you want to be like today? Who do you pattern your style after? I'm gonna tell you who influences me the most out of all the ancestors in modern times was Master Farad Muhammad. And I'm going to tell you why. See, he operated by himself, and he had a mission. And that means that Master Farad's father was a god, like a master scientist, because the vision was his first. And he designed Master Farad Muhammad, and Master Farad Muhammad accomplished his assignment. When he came over here, his mind was highly developed, and he came alone, blending in, looking like the enemy. But no one ever asked themselves, how did he sustain himself living in America? What kind of job did he have to pay the rent, put clothes on his back? They say he was a salesman. My grandmother told me he sold tapestry to her. And we're going to get into that later. But you see that picture right there? That painting that I'm focusing on. That's me when at a younger age, in the middle, on that white horse. Those are my 4 angels. And I'm going to break that down to you a little later on in other videos. getting back to Master Farad Muhammad, as he was developing and making the Nation of Islam, they said he sold silk from door to door. He didn't have the FOI at first. This came in a little later on. And he established himself in Black Bottom, in the community of Black Bottom. And if you'll see that the brothers and sisters in Detroit back in those days were hardcore. And he worked alone. Then he attracted mentally to him what he needed, the materials that he needed to build this nation. Lost Foundation of Islam is what he called it. Temple number 1 was established here on the east side, Detroit. So this is what we're going to be talking about. This is who influenced me the most out of between Malcolm, Khalid, Minister Farrakhan, even the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The one that impressed me, that I would try to pattern my style, is Master Farad Muhammad, because I heard the Honorable Minister Lewis, I heard the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad say that he was a scientist because he knew how to use mental telepathy. No, retract that. It was Supreme Minister John Muhammad that I heard say that he knew how to use the radio in his mind, mental telepathy. That's why he had mental powers, that of a god. Oftentimes, Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad would say that he would interact these two words, scientist and God. Sometimes he would say God, and sometimes he would say a scientist. And to him, they both meant the same. So